when the truth is that you're just a hurt boy with mommy issues. Yo, what's up? It's Deshaun the Great. If you're new, like and subscribe, but we about to talk. So listen, you too preoccupied with chasing women. You are finding yourself being overly indulged by the consumption of chasing women because they're filling that void or they're supplementing that empty space in you that your mom or female influence has done for you. And I'm here to tell you, my boy, you gotta let that go. If you genuinely desire to be a husband, you first have to realize that your wife is not your replacement mother. You are entirely too consumed and too worried about women, and you're not going after your goals and your dreams. And I understand why. Coming from a man who was raised by a woman, I find comfort and peace, certain levels of peace from women. So to supplement things, and when things seem to get tough, or when I felt like something was agitating me, or I felt like something was missing, I too was in search for women. And listen, I'm not here to chastise you. I'm telling you it's a good thing because you're watching this video because you want to change. So to give a prime example, if you open the book in Proverbs 5 specifically, it gives a scenario as when a man is chasing a seductive woman. God then tells that if a man continuously to chase a seductive woman, he's going to end up in death. He's going to end up broke. And he's going to lack heart as an individual. I'll set a list of a couple of scriptures to really emphasize my point. The point is, if you're a man in pursuit of women constantly, if you're always constantly falling under lust, and you're always seduced, that's because you have an addiction problem. The very first step that you should do is, if social media is giving you a hard time with the scrolling, delete your social medias for a month or two. With technology and social media today, everybody got a lust problem, for real. And it's tough because I get it. You scrolling on the gram and you know what I'm saying? You see somebody dragging in that wagon, but you got to swipe. You got to swipe and you got to do better. Another reason why you may be constantly scrolling and constantly lusting after women is because you have the wrong perception of women, or your value, knowingly or not, is misplaced with women. Here's some practical things that you want to do. Find a goal or find something that you would like to do to replace the time that you would be investing into scrolling on Instagram and looking at other women. If you have a jerk the sock issue, practice disciplining yourself against that, because you're objectifying women and limiting them into sexual objects, and that is not okay. It would then build the terrible habit of how you view women from that point forward. You would have an unhealthy relationship with seeing women outside of the things that they could provide for you, which is then like another drug or like another supplement to then fill that empty void that you're running from. The Bible says that if your eye causes you to sin, or if your hand causes you to sin, poke it out and cut it out. The Bible also teaches us that he who looks at a woman lustfully has committed adultery in your heart. So the whole point is that you don't want to build that foundation that's to only seeing women in that way, because it will only lead you to destruction. The second thing that you need to do is you need to identify yourself outside of your mama's carriage. Meaning, who are you as a man, not who your mom envisions you to be. A lot of times, single parents or single women tend to make their sons their second husbands because unfortunately, their husbands aren't around. But that's not your place either. Your place is to be a son. Should you have a goal to help your moms out? Of course, as we all should be doing. But you need to know your place as a man, just as an individual. But because there's a good majority of men who were raised by women, they do have a hard time facing adversity because mothers tend to be coddling. Mothers tend to be nurtured, so they don't want to see their sons get hurt. Which is why when they try to apply this in a relationship, most men who are unsatisfied or who are undisciplined in the relationship will then go and cheat. Take a look at your friend group. She reminds you of something about your mom, or something about a sister or an aunt or a grandma, whoever's around you in your surroundings. That's telling you a lot about something. It's telling you that somewhere in that person, they identify with something that you find in a place of comfort. Or I just have a lust problem and I just like them, or I just like the idea of the person, which is why people come into the conclusion that men and women can't be friends. And it's true. Some people fall into lust, some people get emotionally attached inappropriately, and that's why a lot of great friendships between men and women tend to break, because feelings are tend to misplaced, because we're unaware that this person may be a supplement of something I may be lacking, and or they may be filling a void of an insecurity that I never knew I had. So before you go after this marriage, before you go after this relation, before you continue your pursuits, at least take the time to practice what it is or what it means to be a man as an individual, which is be strong and courageous. I'm not saying being stoic. It is okay for you to feel. Everybody has feelings. Everybody has emotions. It's okay for you to take that cape off, but you also have to understand that women are looking for a sense of foundation, and with that foundation, i.e. Adam, he was the foundation for Eve. And in that foundation, there's a place of security. Most women want security. And if you're not secure with yourself, I'm trying to figure out how you think you're going to secure another woman. Most women are looking for security, which is why they tend to go for a taller or more broader or more muscular, more masculine man, because that is to symbolize the security that they're yearning for. But you can't be hyper emotional, or you can't be undisciplined as a man, as an individual, and not established with yourself as a person, because then you will not fully understand who you are as an individual before you can know what you can contribute in a relationship. You need to be established. If you don't want to go for a career-based goal, hey, listen, we all want to be rich, but at least that as long as you got a roof over your head, a car to drive, you're paying your own bills, and you're making good money to take care of yourself, it is all you really need. You don't need $1 million. You don't need 6 figures. A lot of the people, especially in this economy, it would be very, very tough for most people to make over 6 figures. In fact, because of the average minimum wage in most states, it's fairly impossible for you to maintain yourself and take care of somebody else. With growing and developing yourself as an individual, you then learn how or what you are looking in pursuits of women. Now, if you decide after you take the time to build a discipline, establish yourself, that you want to pursue a woman, here's some key things that you need to look for. Are there some characteristics you can take from your mom that you find admirable? Sure. I would then pursue somebody who has the characteristics of caring for others just as my mom does. But that doesn't mean that I need her to be my mom. To be honest with you, a lot of us really want to be cool with our parents. Now, in terms of dating or courting, take the time to really get to know the person. Find out her cues, find out her do's, and find out her don'ts. It's good when the honeymoon phase is all cool and all great, and when things hit the fan, or when you're arguing, when you're going through something, it gets tough. Am I saying that you should run away from every single person that causes any form of inconvenience? Absolutely not. But there are things that you know for yourself that you're willing to tolerate, and the things that you're not willing to tolerate. So when you look at what this person is doing or how they're responding, if you're willing to endure or willing to say, hey, that's inappropriate, but I understand, we can overcome that, and we could talk about this and then come to a solution, I highly suggest it, because you cannot have a healthy relationship with somebody else and just expect them to have no baggage. Because when you do that, you end up putting them at a higher expectation that's inhuman. And you wouldn't want that to happen with you. They're just as human as you, and also understand that they have their own feelings as well. And as a man, you are there to protect, express how you feel, but then come to a solution, a mutual grounds where you two can agree and then move forward. The Bible insinuates that you should solve all your problems before you even lay down, meaning you need to nip this in the bud and make sure that your household is all cool, because once y'all disagreeing, that opens you up to lust. That opens you up to anger. You let that frustration linger, it opens you up to wanting to pursue other people or causing something or causing unnecessary issues to the relationship. Make sure you really take that time to look into that. If you are going to pursue dating, make sure that you find somebody that believes in the same principles or relatively close to the same principles as you do. It's much easier to talk to somebody who believes in the same principle and foundation as you do than for somebody in the opposition, because most people, especially with the standard or especially with the God figure, will not compromise or shake or budge with whatever they're believing. That happened to me. I used to be Muslim, got introduced to Christ, and here I am today. But is this a common thing? No. But is it possible? Yes. Seek the Most High, because you are living in the standard, because you're living under the standard of the Most High, you then should get his approval. Does this make sense? Should I continue to pursue this marriage? Should I continue to pursue her with the principle that she stands for? And if he says no, it's better for you to be obedient than to disobey. And lastly, understand that being in a relationship is not the end all be all. Is it a choice? Yes, but it's not the end all be all. It says he who finds a wife. You don't necessarily have to search for her. It's up to you. It is your choice. Everybody's looking for this perfection thing. Everybody's talking about a fictional table or what you bring to the table and all these vain things. But in actuality, most of these people are just as insecure, just in a different aspect as you are. So take the steps, take the time to learn who you are, take the time to establish yourself as an individual, as a man, build that foundation between you and Christ. And when you mature and when you develop and when you're ready, you're a little bit more prepared to handle a relationship, the responsibility that comes with a relationship, then take that pursuit. But if you are not established, and if you're not ready, and if you're undisciplined, if you have a lust problem, don't even take the time to look for women. I would even go to the extremes of don't even think about liking another woman in that fashion. because you can't handle yourself. As the Bible said, it will make you broke. You're less than a man. You're a man of no heart. You're a man of no spirit. You lack discipline. Why pursue all these things? There was a dope conversation. I'm gonna talk to you in the next video.